Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody here. I'm going to begin with the objectives of the Georgia Peanut Breeding Program, which is the same as most peanut breeding programs throughout the U.S. Increasing dollar value returns, higher yields and grades, disease of all sorts and insect resistance, virus and nematode resistance, drought and aflatoxin resistance, improved shelling characteristics, better processing qualities, longer shelf life, enhanced flavor and nutrition. Okay, here are some varieties from the Georgia Peanut Breeding Program. Everybody's familiar with 6G. We also have Greener, 7W, 12Y, 18RU, 9B. These are all pilot lakes with asterisk, 14N, and 16HO. And I'll get into a little more detail with each one of these. Everybody's familiar, hopefully by now, with Georgia-06G. It was released in 2006. As the name implies, it's a high-yielding TSWV resistant runner type. Has intermediate runner growth habit with dark green leaf color, medium maturity, similar to the Georgia Green variety. High levels of TSWV resistance, not immunity, but very high level, with larger seed size in comparison to Georgia Green. Very productive, good stability across many different growing environments, and has proved excellent for the runner market type. Greener resulted from the same cross as Georgia-06G. It's just a little smaller seed size, and it does have a little bit better CBR resistance. We heard that this morning that CBR may be coming back. It kind of went away for a little bit in certain spots, I guess, not completely, but it's kind of like TSWV. It cycles up and down, so here we go again. Georgia-07W, Terry mentioned, I don't think I saw it on the certification list, so it may be out, but it had pretty good white mold resistance as well as TSWV resistance. Both varieties now have got to have TSWV resistance. Georgia-09B, released in 2009, has the high lake trait. It's intermediate runner growth habit with medium maturity, very similar to Georgia Green, the recurrent parent that resulted from back crossing. Get the high lake trait incorporated. It has a high level of TSWV resistance and medium runner seed size. Whereas Georgia Green back then was very similar to Flow Runner as far as seed size. It is also very productive, good stability across many different environments. It has the high lake, low linoleic oil fatty acid chemistry and a lower total saturated fats. Excellent roasted flavor for the runner market type. Georgia-12Y, released in 2012. Y stands for yield. High yielding TSWV is probably one of the best white mold resistant varieties, the runner type varieties we have. Has a runner growth habit, dark green leaf color, medium late in maturity. Also has very high level of TSWV resistance as well as white mold or stem rot resistance. Same thing. With its later maturing capability, you might want to look at a little bit earlier planting date on this one, since it does have some very good disease-resistant package. Georgia-14N, released in 2014. N stands for root knot nematode resistance. Very high level root knot nematode resistance. It has the high lake trait as well as TSWV resistance as well. Intermediate runner growth habit, medium maturity, a medium green leaf color. As I just mentioned, high level of TSWV resistance To my knowledge, we don't have immunity with TSWV, but we do have variability in resistance all the way from susceptibility in some of the genotypes to pretty good resistance. I would say high level of resistance, but not immunity. Root knot nematode resistance, however, is approaching that category where you have very little calling, if any, very low incidence. So the genes for root knot nematode resistance are major, whereas a lot of these other genes have more of an additive effect. So we're trying to build on that with each generation. Georgia-16HO. HO stands for High Lake, released in 2016. It is a large-seeded, high-yielding, high-lake TSWV resistant runner type. Intermediate runner growth habit, medium maturity as well. High level of TSWV resistance. A high percentage of jumbo runner seed size for those that are interested. Good performance and stability as all of these, and excellent cultivar for the high lake runner trait. Georgia 18RU, this was one of the most recent releases, released in 2018. It's a runner growth habit, runner market type with a runner growth habit. High yield leaf scorch resistance. Bob will tell you that's more of a cosmetic thing, but we have plants dying in the greenhouse from it this last few years, so it can be a problem in certain situations. TSWV resistance, medium seed size compared to some of the larger seeded runners. Runner growth habit, medium plus maturity. Like I mentioned, high level of leaf scorch and TSWV resistance, and a high percentage of total sound mature kernels. I'll show you that data here in a little bit. And it is a normal olate, like Georgia 6G. Excuse me. This first slide is tomato spotted wilt virus percentage. This is a 3-year, 30 test average, looking at TSWV incidence, not intensity, but incidence of 13 runner type peanut varieties over multiple locations in Georgia from 2017 through this past year, 2019. 6G has the lowest, so even though you may have saw some high incidence with 6G, there are lots of others that have been lots worse. This is the end of the year total disease incidence, primarily TSWV, but any fungicide escape, white mold, or stem rot as well. And there you see 12Y, because of its white mold resistance, I think, having the lowest total disease incidence at the end of the year compared to 6G and some of these others. Yield. You can see Georgia, my glasses adjusted, 6G coming out on top, but just a little bit better than a lot of these others here. 16HO, 12Y, Floral Run 331, and Tough Runner 297, and Georgia 18RE. Those there, and then it stair steps down to the Georgia 14N. This is your total sound mature kernel grade, or TSMK percentage. And I mentioned I'd show you here's what 18RU looks like compared to these others. It's about percentage point up to 2 percentage points better than the others as far as grade goes. Seed size, we have quite a variability in seed size with the runner varieties now, going from a low of 14N, which gives you a higher count per pound, down to the largest seed size of Tough Runner 297. So you've got an array now of diversity as far as seed size, and of course that goes to cost as well. What you've been waiting on is the bottom line or value, dollar per acre, growth value. And you can see Georgia 18 RU, followed by 6G, 16 HO, and then on down to the others. So, with that, I want to conclude, and thank you very much for your attention. I don't know if we have time for any questions. If not, I'll pass it along to the next one.